things that I think is really neat about Easter is that we have lots and lots of a special decoration. What do we have lots of?
Flowers.
Flowers! And you know why? You know you can tell when there's a lot of flowers in church. You know how you can tell? Because all the adults are going, but flowers are really pretty, aren't they? They're really cool. And so I wanted to show you a really pretty flower. I got a really pretty flower under here I'm going to show you. This is a really cool flower. Here it is. Here it is. Is that a cool flower?
No.
No?
It's not a real flower.
What is it?
It's a seed.
So how would I get a flower out of this?
You put it in the ground and water.
Okay. So if I put it in the ground and I water it, I'm going to get something that looks like that?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I've done it before.
You've done that before. So you've actually seen what happens when you take something like this and you put it in the ground. It becomes something that looks like this. Do you think that if you told somebody that you could take this and shove it in the ground and you'd get something like this, do you think, if they've never ever seen that before, do you think they'd believe you?
No.
Probably not. Because sometimes when we can see things, then we can believe it, but otherwise, this just doesn't look like this, does it? See, that was the problem the disciples had in the gospel reading this morning. Thomas, he was one of the disciples of Jesus. He said, you know what? I don't believe Jesus was risen from the dead. Because he saw Jesus after Good Friday. And how did Jesus look then? After they took him off the cross, how did he look? Was he a happy camper? No.
Yes.
What was his condition when they took him off the cross? Pretty much dead, right? They pulled him out. He was dead then, right? So he was kind of like this. He was dead. And the disciples said, even though he was dead, we saw him and he's alive. And that's pretty hard to believe when you haven't seen it before, right? So one of the things that the seed reminds us of in Easter and all the flowers is that sometimes God's doing things in our lives that just don't seem like they could be possible. Because if we haven't seen them, we don't really think that they could actually happen. But whether it's Jesus rising from the dead or seeds that become flowers, God is doing all kinds of things in our lives, and they're really cool and they're really neat. And sometimes people don't believe because we haven't seen it before. But that doesn't mean that God isn't doing some really important and really great things for us. And that's one of the things that Jesus wants us always to know, that God's doing all kinds of great things, even if right now we can't actually see it. Okay. All right, so let's see it. You guys hold hands? Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for doing all kinds of great things. Help us to be able to believe in your love